Steve. You know what I mean? He hit me back with the WTF, kid. You know?
First of all, that's amazing.
That's sick.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I just sit there, you know? I'm literally just like sitting
By
there.
yourself in the car.
By myself in the car. I'm listening to the Clash and the Ramones. I'm trying to center myself.
Yeah.
Trying to think about, you know, like 8-year-old me.
In through the nose, out through the mouth.
Like this is just, you know, just literally trying to be in the moment. If this happens, because it still wasn't a guarantee. Like if this happens, it's just gonna set the world on its ear.
Was there ever a chance, though, really, that you might be like, no, I'm peeling out and leaving?
Me personally, I mean, there could have been if there was like some hard nose to some things in the you know, the contracts. But again, I think both sides were eager.
They wanted it.
You know what I mean? But then you get the lawyers involved, and then you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. But you know, I get a text, and it's just like, okay, we're gonna clear the hallway, and we're gonna come get you, and we're just gonna put you in Triple H's office. I'm like, okay. So I run through the building. So like, you know, maybe
hoodie on and
got you wrapped up like Michael Jackson's son.
Yep. They put me in the freight elevator, and it's funny because I know the building like the back of my hand. I'm like, the stairs are right around the corner. Yeah. I could just walk down the stairs. They put me in the freight elevator.
Yeah.
The freight elevator lowers. I hear him on the other side of the elevator. They're screaming and yelling, "Clear the hallway! Clear the hallway!" And I'm like, "Oh no!" Like, I'm that guy now. All the boys are gonna be like, "Ah, this is still. Why do we have to?" You know. But they clear the hallway, and the freight elevator door opens up, and his like 6 steps this way is the door I'm walking into, and I walk in there, and I just sit down, and then I'm just in there, and they're starting the War Games match, right? So it's literally like I don't have a deal yet, you know.
We're at the end of the show.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting in there, and the lawyers are going back and forth, you know, hammering stuff out. And Triple H walks in, and he's just like, if this gets done, you know, we're just going to wait. You know, when the time's right, we're going to bring you in through Gorilla. And I was like, okay, great. So contracts get executed, and it's time. And it's literally just like, okay, deep breath, open the door, walk through Gorilla, and now it's like there's so many people in Gorilla.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, who was the first person you saw? Like, do you remember the first person you made eye contact with, and they were like, what the?
Yeah, right.
Because I got brought into Gorilla, and I don't think people knew. I think people were just piled in there because it's the end of the show, and there's social media people who are going to be filming. Yeah. You know, winners and losers coming through the curtain, and they're doing their job and stuff like that. And I remember being a Gorilla, and then all of a sudden I get bear hugged from behind, and like as I kind of turn around to see who it is, it's Bailey.
Standard Bailey.
And she's like, I knew it. You know? She's like, as soon as they started yelling at us to clear the hallway, she's like, I knew it. Yeah. And she's not letting go of me. And then, like, you know, the Triple H is there. You know,
it's like Bailey, let him go.
Stephanie, I remember seeing and having a moment with, you know, there's somebody I haven't seen in 10 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's somebody that, you know, people are like, oh, they hate each other. You know, Regal, I remember looking at Regal and Regal going,
look at us.
Like that Paul Rudd video. Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us.
100%. You know, but there was just so many people in there. It was like, and then I don't know what to do. I absolutely lose my composure.
Yeah.
Because all I know is I'm coming out.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the set looks like. I don't know if there's a ramp. I'm literally like in the dark,
walking in blind.
And so I'm trying to talk to Triple H over the table, you know, and it's so loud and there's so many people and they like hit my music and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. What am I doing?
Look cool.
And he's like, go out and walk down to the cage. And I'm like, go out and walk all the way down to the cage.
That's crazy.
And he was trying to tell me that there was 2 cages for the baby faces and the heels for the War Games.
yeah.
And he wanted me to walk down and stand in between there. And
So
in
we
my
ended
head,
up-
I'm like, I'm marching all the way
All
to the
the way,
cage.
yeah, right.
And he's like, no, and my music's playing.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're going back and forth. And I'm like, we're both freaking out. We're like, no. And like, he rips his headset off. And I'm like, oh God, what are we doing? You know, and we figured it out. But
That's
the
amazing.
place,
I'll never look at that the same again.
right? Yeah, the chaos backstage, brother. I mean, it's the last minute. I'm
Someone's
last minute
got to
there.
have this on film too. You know?
There was so much stuff going on back there, and they film everything now. So I'm sure someday we're going to see a lot of cool stuff.
Your next.
It
It was just
documentary.
such a great moment, and I love that chaos and that uncertainty again. I was like, man, I could just drink it up all day. But when the music hit, it was deafening.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, and then I'm trying to time it. Because you know you have cues of when I'm going to walk out. This is when I do this. This is when I go here. You know, but the other thing is, tell this story. Once all that stuff started happening, you know, I'm tight with the band. So so they're calling me, going, hey, they're trying to license the song again. If this isn't for you, it's a hard no.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't want to say anything. So I kind of told him it was for me without saying. I was like, maybe you should just let it happen.
Yeah.
And Corey's like, is it you or is it not you? And I was like, Corey, just.
I think I think you should think about it.
But what we did,
Did they re-release?
yes,
Okay.
yes, and that's because we pay the band.
Okay.
We're not paying the record label.
Oh, okay.
All right.